Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is Siti Aishah Binti Rahman. My metric number is J46531. I'm going to present academic presentation task 2, and for my topic is overcoming nervousness in academic presentation among college and university students. The central idea for this topic is to create a professional human resources presentation. For the main idea, number 1 is identifying the target audience. The IDA model is attention, interest, desire, and action. Is a widely used communication model designed to guide the structure and flow of a message in a way that engage and persuade the audience. It's an incredibly effective framework for presentation, including academic ones, where you need to keep your audience engaged while delivering complex information. The IDEA model is a framework that can be used to structure presentation to help guide the audience through a psychological journey from attention to action. Number 1 is attention. Grab the audience attention. The first step is to capture your audience attention. In an academic presentation, this is critical because you want to engage them right from the start to ensure they stay focused and interested. The second one is interest. Keep them engaged. When you capture their attention, the next step is to sustain their interest. In an academic setting, this is where you establish the relevance of your research, present intriguing fact, and outline the problem you are addressing. The third one is desire. Create a desire for the solution or knowledge. At this stage, you need to move your audience from just being interested to wanting to know more about your research, ideas, or conclusion. Number 4 is action. Call to action or closing message. Finally, the action phase is where you prompt the audience to act. This might not always mean asking them to do something directly, but it could mean encouraging them to think differently. For supporting point number 2 is presentation rehearsal. A presentation rehearsal is a practice session where you run through your presentation as if you were delivering it to an audience. It's a key step in the preparation process and should include: the first one is pre-rehearsal preparation. Know your material. Before you start rehearsing, make sure you have a solid grasp on the content. You should know it well enough that you don't need to rely on your slide or note too much. The second one is rehearsal phases. Phases number 1 is a solo rehearsal, first run through. For the purpose is, the first run through is to familiarize yourself with the flow of your presentation and get comfortable with the material. Phase number 2 is recording yourself. The purpose is recording help you evaluate your delivery, body language, and clarity. Phases 3 is feedback session. For the purpose is to get feedback from others to identify blind spot and get an outside perspective on your delivery. Phases number 4 is mock presentation. For the purpose is stimulate a full presentation scenario, incorporating everything you have learned and previous rehearsal. And phase number 5, final run through. The purpose is this final rehearsal should feel like the real deal. You will run through the entire presentation to check if everything feels polished. Main point number 2 is main ideas and objective of the presentation. The key to a successful academic presentation is not just knowing your material, but also being clear about the specific messages you want to convey to your audience. At each stage of the presentation, Each subpoint of your project should be thoughtfully crafted so that it supports your main goal and ensure clarity. The first one is identify the core message of your presentation. What is the central idea or conclusion of your research? Think about what you want your audience to remember after your presentation. Number 2 is break down your project into subpoints. Subpoint number 1 is what is the problem or research question. Define the gap or a problem in the current research that your study addresses. Be specific about why it matters and how it fits into the bigger picture. Subpoint number 2 is what the methods did you use. Briefly explain your research method but focus on their relevance and how they help solve the problem. Subpoint number 3 is what were your results. What to convey is share the key finding, emphasizing the most significant and novel insight. And key takeaway is ensure the audience understand the core result and their potential implication. Next is writing things down by hand during your presentation rehearsal is a powerful tool for improving focus and comprehension. Here's why and how it can benefit you, particularly during rehearsal. Number 1 is writing forces you to slow down, which is when you write by hand, your thoughts pause because you can type as quickly as you think. This slower pace forces you to process your ideas more thoughtfully and choose words that are clearer and more intentional. Number 2 is improve focus and reduce distraction. Writing by hand engage your brain in a way that typing on a computer doesn't. Handwriting active area of the brain involved in memory and focus, which make it easier to stay in the present moment rather than get distracted by external device or other thoughts. 3 is enhance memory retention. Studies show that writing by hand help with memory retention because the act of writing require your brain to engage more deeply with the material. And lastly, number 4 is help structure idea and find gaps. Writing things out on the paper forces you to organize your thoughts systematically. You can easily break your presentation into subpoints, make connection between the different ideas, and see where you might be missing something important. That's all from me. Thank you.